it would be the Granger.
Yeah. You might, like, what else are you going to do against the Harith? You know?
Kimmy.
Yeah, it's like, no one's surprised. No one, 109 times picked.
Bro, that is a lot.
No, at this point, no one's surprised. It's Granger Harith. So Granger Harith comes through. And now this last pick, okay, it's CC. CC is actually still interesting that you guys did mention this also earlier on. Oh,
no. People were reacting. Whoa, it's
the Eve.
It's the Eve. Against the Baksha, against the Jushin, which was commonly picked against the Jushin way back.
This is looking really good for TLPH, I'd say.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm leaning there.
They wrapped up their draft. Their last 3 picks are really good. We might be going to our 20th game in 2 days, and I wouldn't have asked for anything else.
Guys, if that's the case, we have to take a photo.
Yeah.
Like all the 20 gamers. Oh man, we're gonna get there. Let's take a look at the index here for both the teams. You guys can let us know once again in chat who you think has the better lineup. Are we going to a Game 5? Are you guys excited for another Game 5? We'll have to get through Game 4 first. We'll see if Falcons, still sitting at match point, can make it happen, or will TLPH get things together, and will it be the case? Let's go ahead and throw it over to the casting desk to take us into Game 4.
1 win away from going all the way. Liquid may have found the momentum, but that doesn't change the fact that Team Falcons BH are still at match point. Welcome back into the series. It's game number 4. And I just gotta say, the draft, to me, doesn't matter as much anymore.
Yeah, because honestly, it feels like Team Liquid Philippines, they've completed their reset. So now they're fighting back against Falcons.
God!
Oh, that was very close. tlph almost got taken out here by the skin of his teeth, by the blade of his knife. It was so close. And yeah, he's going to get slowed down just a little bit, but he's still on the path though. So they're still pretty much close to level 4, I guess. tlph also got sidetracked a little bit on top.
That's straight up Naruto versus Sasuke.
Oh yeah.
Just when we thought that we won't be
we're
seeing
gonna
as
see
much Sasuke's anymore.
I guess.
It looks like the first time we're going to see it. We haven't seen Suyo in a long time.
Yeah, we would have acknowledged it, but now, for real, this is canon.
Yeah.
Naruto versus Sasuke, guys.
Maybe the last time was in week 8. Because like...
Not even. I don't remember Suyo getting picked that time.
Onyx BH put Team 7 together in one lineup.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe in the next beat.
Oh!
But look at that. It's going to be tlph
Oh!
almost getting JP, but saved at the nick of time with the passive. Man, that could have been a kill, but it went the other way. JP with a kill. First blood for TL.
And was that not the second time they found Kyle just nearby, all alone, and probably very susceptible to being taken down by tlph?
And here's the thing, Kyle wants to fight, but I don't think you want to fight as a Suyo this early without any items yet.
Yeah, he's giggle, man.
That's part of the dictionary now, so I think we can use it. But Ogwen trying to look for information, however.
Yep, Few's gonna do his very best to maybe just push these big tanks a little bit, but tlph gonna be able to secure that turtle. tlph is looking solid.
Is it too early to say they are so back? Like, this is the way they pull off the early game. This is the way they show their dominance early on in the stages of the game.
I would say they are back. They are so back if we go to Game 5, but I'll tell you this much. The Liquid PH playing here in Game 4 is a very different Liquid from Game 1.
Yeah. They feel more in sync, and this is what we were looking from them earlier. Like, their mid-trio, the way they're rotating, it's just so fast-paced. And JP, however, might find himself too deep.
Yeah, that's a pretty good harassment going for Falcon. Whoa, 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 whoa. JP.
You can't fire me, I quit.
So
well, that's the AOG.
That was the most random AOG of my life.
Hey, better safe than sorry.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
true, that's true.
He was in front of 3 members, you know, and tlph experienced the exact same thing when he was in this particular area. They wouldn't want to hand over even the slightest bit of lead to Team Falcons now that they finally find the control in the game. But this is Team Falcons responding to with, we can do the same. We can like rotate together as one and find something across the map.
So far, so good. The recovery on Falcons, despite that early stumble, drawn first blood on Kyle, and the turtle conceded over to Liquid. Next turtle spawning lower quarter, same spot. How is Falcons keeping this close? How are they still just 300 away?
Yeah, I feel like the laning phase is being well managed. There aren't any successful rotations just yet. At most, there have been skirmishes in the mid, and they're towards Kyle TZ, and it's only been once that they were able to punish that moment wherein Kyle TZ found himself too deep. Now they're able to somehow still hold out everything and position themselves in this upcoming turtle fight that's about to happen. Although they do have to consider this is probably going to be a 5v5.
Falcons in a good position. The 5-man arrived a lot earlier here, and they are trying to blitz that turtle over the front. Oh, Few with AOG. He's going to have to deal with so much here. Carl TZ is still coming out on top with the red tree, and they're just walking away like nothing happened. But they might be able to take out Ogun with them as well.
The Master caught behind enemy lines, and now Few pushing back Sansan. What is going on?
All of that.
Was they?
So they are indeed back. And
They're
where
back.
was this? Where was this in the past few games? OF got a double kill too during that entire sequence. So you could pretty much assure that he's ahead of Super Marco in this game in terms of gold. And it's not just that. Right now, okay, Clap TZ, could he be the next target?
Yeah, it feels like they have a lot of firepower on top, but look at the bottom. They're also dealing with it. It's a free-man attack for Falcons, and they finally slowed down Carl TZ. It wasn't a shutdown or anything, but they will force AOG as well, and I think they have just enough to dive under the tower and get 2.
Okay.
So it was a feint. I'm guessing Carl and JP wanted to just buy time for that push down bottom, but instead they paid the iron price. I think this is worth it for Falcons. Just go for the slow clapback, and then maybe they can contest for turtle number 3.
Yeah, because as much as you want to think that they're just really trying to enable OHEB, they're trying to get him online, which is kind of happening already so far based on what we're seeing in terms of the results of the early game. You would want Carl TZ to just be that, just have that same level of threat against Team Falcons, because he's the guy who can just constantly go in, force out the ultimates, even the Crimson Beacon, which is going to be very vital for Team Falcons as well later on, and just not mind Ogun once OHEB's already able to rack up on the items to deal with him, even when you leave him alone alongside the other members of tlph in the back line.
Oh, there it is, the Kakashi Naruto 1v1.
Again, it just keeps happening.
That's going to keep happening later for sure, and unfortunately in this meta, Naruto's ahead. So, at least in 1v1s.
Turtle spawns. JP, first of the scene, pulling it over, favoring Liquid. Few put half health.
That's a low HP Zushin. He will not be able to participate, and there will be no turtle steals here today. It's another one for TL. That's turtle number 3, but a turret for Falcons on the bottom.
That was a false contest. Falcons just stood around, but the truth was they weren't going for turtle at all. They took down that tier 1 down bottom, and look! Oh, can OM catch him?
I think that, did that hit?
It didn't. It was probably like 1 or 2 pixels away
1 pixel
from
away.
connecting to Kyle TZ. How fortunate of him to be able to survive that. Even Sanford used the spread, I feel, just to scout the other brushes, which weren't in the range for the Zaman Forest laid there by OHEB. But at least now we're seeing the way Falcons is responding to the pressure that Team Liquid Philippines is doing. What will probably matter the most is what happens in the team fights and how it turns out once they're forced to meet each other already. Because right now it's all mirroring. It's all about the mirroring that they're doing.
Yep, tier 2 trade, top for bottom. But here's the thing, Liquid is actually losing out on economy. There's more pushes for Falcons.
Yeah, they've already taken out 3 turrets. Team Liquid Philippines has only taken down 2. And they feel like they have their eyes set on the mid lane, but the defense shown to us by Falcons is just too good. So they're settling with what they can for now, but they need to do something in terms of that if they don't want Falcons to get more openings to catch up.
Yo, finally, by the way, Super Marco might just start joining them more. He's still 0-0-0, so let's see if that's going to improve the firepower of Falcons here.
Yeah, still bulletproof. Again, #1 least deaths in all season long, season 15 regular season. He aims to hold that all throughout the playoffs. Falcons playing defensively. JP caught up by 2.
Yep. Gonna be some pretty decent damage from Falcons, but not quite enough to burst down the Gatot Kacha from 100 to 0.
Yeah, and he's not gonna use his AOG anymore. This
Fine,
time.
yeah, exactly, right?
You could save it.
You could do that early game. But now, like, you want to hold it for the Lord.
Because there is a lore. There's the Malefic Roar also picked up by Kyle TZ, so we could be potentially expecting a bit more damage from Team Falcons heading into this next fight. But they feel like they might want to... Wait, is Owen actually scouting Oheb?
Yeah, he's waiting for maybe Carl or Oheb.
Yeah, but they probably will be giving the purple buff to Oheb at this point.
He's
So
forcing a response.
Yeah.
He knows that he's winning that lane, and this will benefit the dance eventually. He's waiting for Liquid to do something.
yeah, now they have the information of where almost all members of Team Liquid Philippines are currently, except for JP perhaps. They have no information whatsoever that he's holding this brush. Now they do, and this feels like Ogwen just holding this side of the map so he could come in from the surprise backline angles later on when the team fight breaks out.
Yeah, normally that's pretty far, right? But if you're a Vaksha, you can cover that in like a split second. So
And that's what makes this situation now approaching so hard for Liquid. For the first time in a while, they don't have control over map rotations. Their rotational speed is so slow. They have to commit to actually going from coast to coast, lane to lane.
yeah.
Yeah, that or them just blocking out whatever Kyle TZ wants to do, and they successfully took away another turret. So Falcons is just being so proactive in terms of the objectives that they're able to take, even at even assuming that they might want to position themselves already for the Lord, but no, they're just buying time, distracting Team Liquid Philippines.
Yeah, this time no tlph, teleports, shortcuts, or anything. They're gonna have to walk each and every single one of them.
It's difficult to go from one certain kind of speed or mode of transport to another.
Yeah.
Brigida would know, you know, the difference between a private jet and flying commercial.
Oh yeah, she knows for sure.
Oh, I know. I love to experience what it feels like to ride on a private jet, but this is honestly, like, overall it feels like Falcons.
This isn't to Liquid speed.
This isn't the Liquid speed, so it's like Falcons, they get so much in a short amount of time. Well, we don't get to see any from Team Liquid Philippines. It's just them waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, Falcons feels like they're starting to get a little impatient as well. There's the knockup for Sanford. He flickers in. He's diving in on Super Marco. And it's going to be Carl TZ with Bat Lord while everyone is so busy keeping Super Marco alive. And he's going to be able to do it. It's going to be a trade though, but it's worth it if you're a Raider. Or Cavalry, sorry.
Any day, I would give up a glue for a Granger.
So this makes the wait worth it for Team Liquid Philippines now.
Oh, yeah.
Because with the Lord, they can probably even out the map against Team Falcons, but there's the AOG.
Uh-oh, Owen might be in trouble here. But again, that's a Baksha, man. So it's tough.
At best, Liquid is just buying time for the rest of the map to equalize. Falcons know exactly what to do here. They need to do damage control. Prevent Liquid from barreling forward with this newfound momentum.
This is a very low-scoring game too. So you see how careful these teams are actually playing it out, exactly knowing what to do and what not to do. But how does Team Liquid Philippines take advantage of the Lord?
Yeah, they're going to try to see if they can make a pick-off happen so that the Lord push will be easier, but no luck so far.
Sasuke versus Naruto! Mid Sasuke versus Naruto!
Oh, we did see it. Shame.
It didn't happen.
It wasn't going to really come to fruition. There was a turret. And that's a problem for Liquid, right? Like, they haven't really committed to taking down these major objectives. So a Lord or a free pick-off or a good trade will most likely just be short-term goals.
Yeah, the Lord differential probably is like maybe 1K, 2K. They didn't get a lot of gold from that.
Literally, it was just that tier 1 up top.
Yeah.
They seem to be constantly forcing the fight here in the mid lane though. Oh, there's Stanford!
He caught him. He caught Ogwen, and that might not be the target you want. And now they know that the grab is not available.
Abort.
But also the curtain call.
So it's a trade, you know, big ticket oats. This is just a clear sign for both titans of MLBB to say, hey, let's regroup.
Yeah, so if they're playing it this carefully,
Ooh.
the next fight might happen by the next objective.
I'll be damned. I didn't expect to see Sasuke versus Killua. Not this early.
Wrong franchise.
My childhood.
The crossover we didn't know we needed.
Thank you, MLBB. 40 seconds until the Lord spawns upper quarter. Again, we're back to problem number 1, the major issue for Liquid. Slow rotational speed compared to Falcons' attrition-based playstyle. They're so good at choking out their opponents.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Ogwen standing here in the mid lane, and Few, who is yet to die, by the way, in this entire game, just constantly holding down the mid lane. So Team Liquid Philippines aren't able to get their hands on the mid lane tier 1, or not even into a fight that's really comfortable for them. Like, we've barely seen the real world manipulations and them being able to maximize the real world manipulations, because whenever a fight happens, it just feels like with the rotational speed, Falcons just gets away. They just regroup and fight back once they know that there are more things lacking from Team Liquid Philippines side.
We're approaching 15 minutes, and it's only 3-4 on the kill score. So this goes to show what kind of lineups these guys are running.
And not just the lineup, man. It's the gameplay. This is PH macro, TM.
TM.
Yeah.
Did we apply for that?
It's in the works. In the past couple of years, we have redefined what competitive Mobile Legends looks like.
Yes.
And at the peak of it all, the technicalities of it all, the Philippines is the Floyd Money Mayweather of MLBB to boxing. Like, we're just so technical. It's just very defensive, very controlled. JP catches some fire, some smoke from 2 on another.
There he goes.
Another AOG moment.
Better safe than sorry. Okay,
Wait,
I get it.
But there's a lure.
He couldn't afford to do that unless Liquid's call is just take it slow.
They're willing.
Oh no, but look at the
Oh my goodness, Carl TZ. Look at his HP. He's willed down so hard. And now he's going to stay alive, but only for a meantime, though. That is huge. Big ultimates being expended on TL.
and Falcons finally gain access to the mid lane tier 1.
Yeah, finally. Zaman Force used, AOG used, I'm
Crimson
assuming
Beacon?
Crimson Beacon.
If it weren't for that revitalize, Carl TZ might have actually fallen.
And this whole time real world manipulation.
Yep. We are yet to really see one that Team Liquid Philippines just utilizes to take advantage of a team fight. And Falcons, they're just always okay with letting Team Liquid Philippines position themselves in the Lord Pit and just do nothing, just do other things in the map.
I reckon it wouldn't hurt just yet. Maybe that's why Sanji's holding off. But JP!
Man, Flap TZ is going hard into the tlph lineup, and finally JP uses AOG in the right target, but this time around might be a little too late on the retribution. That's going to be Turtle Lord rather going over to Falcons. But of course, tlph is not going to take that line down. They get 2 kills.
The art of the turn. Liquid Philippines feinted a Lord take and instead turned on the heroes. Flap TZ and Ogwen down. But these are the chunkies. These are the big guys.
And that one chunky hero, which was Ogwen, actually did way more than what we saw of him just tanking the damage. I feel like he blocked the shockwave blast, which could have potentially been the combo for the retry for Carl TZ to actually steal away the objective, but just because he was right there at that spot, he blocked it. And so it was a clear chance for Kyle TZ to get the objective for themselves.
Yep, so that means the map's going to turn blue even more. Look at that. A passive push up top by Kyle, and down bottom, the rest of Falcons escorting the Lord.
Yeah, they seem to be happy to just take this fight whenever. Now, JP, are you going to go for the AOG on the offensive? Or will you just try and see if you can will down that Lord? Looks like they're going for the latter. And they are going to get slowed down just a little bit. Nice try on Sanji to go for the real world. But no one is going to get caught. And Falcons, their siege is still ongoing.
Interesting angle the way Sanji dropped that RWM. A good, whoa, AOG!
There's the AOG we were looking for, but not the targets that he wanted.
No one home. All right. Back to what I observed up top. Brigida, I don't know if you saw this. The way Sanji dropped the RWM, maybe almost half of it was not on the map.
Yeah.
So something tells me he might have just clicked it out of just, take down Super Marco.
He was just pressing buttons. But they don't, but they can't afford to do that because the skills that they have, it'll work best if they're able to sync it up, if they're able to coordinate it well, like the real world, the AOG, and then the Zaman Force.
And place it in the right spot. Something tells me maybe Sanji just tried to go for max distance. The reason why a good chunk of that area wasn't in the map is because he just wanted to get that corner over to Marco. He almost got him, almost immobilized the Granger, but still Super Marco is sitting at just 1 death so far, and Falcons is so comfortable being, you know, this controlled, playing slow.
Yeah, I mean, Sanji does already have the Wishing Lantern. If it's just that, he probably has a couple other items too. But
Glowing Wand and wings.
yeah, but that isn't like the Farsa where it could just deal that burst damage towards Super Marco. And of course, Super Marco, he does have a way to just dash out of that real-world manipulation. So
And Flicker.
it was just probably really damage control that Team Liquid Philippines tried to do, because he's the one guy you don't want to get close to the turrets,
That's
right?
true. 20 seconds on the next Lord, by the way. Adam and Carl TC's in a very interesting angle. I think they want him to do a -1 before they get started. But yeah, Falcons very, very aware of this strategy. Not gonna fall for it. Or will they?
Oh.
They are visible on top side.
Wait, Team Liquid Philippines are also on the opposite side of the map now. Like, they probably read into how Falcons has been doing it for quite some time, but the difference is Falcons can just go to the Lord way faster. Oh no, JP!
Oh my goodness, Flap Teasy. I think he already used Curtain Call. Yes, he did force the Gatot Kacha back. But again, that's the Gatot with an immortality, not really too scared of here. Carl Teasy, though, eyes on him.
But it is a losing matchup. Early, mid to late. If a CC finds a Gatot, the Gatot will usually fold.
Almost 100-0, almost.
Yeah, he had to run away.
And he's just about to recall now. So Team Falcons are definitely going to position themselves first in this upcoming objective.
Yeah.
Well, at least there's the AOG, so he can go in. Wait!
Few second window, few already used Crimson Beacon. That is a huge ultimate used on Falcons, and this could be the opening that TL has been waiting for 20 minutes.
2 big ticket ults spent by the cavalry, and they force Few to use the Crimson Beacon and the Flicker. Does the math check out?
That's pretty work.
Well, at least they still have other big ticket ults to rely on if ever the fight still proceeds to break out in a few moments. There's still the ultimate of Sanford and JP, but are they going in?
Look at Falcons, they are looking. Ogwen is looking for Oheb or Carl, but Flap Teasy is going to get demolished here. Not going to be able to out-sustain them. Ogwen, though, going to get caught. Oheb with a 1v1 on the Baksha. The Falcons have fallen. They are slowly getting chased down. Few is not going to be enough to help with the contest. It's 2 for none. For the cavalry.
Are handing out freebies. 2 for none. Liquid steal the Lord from underneath that free win. 20 minutes. We were waiting for 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
And 2 free kills suddenly come out of nowhere for Liquid.
And one of those, the one towards Ogwen, was pretty questionable. Like, how did he find himself in that spot wherein he was just up against Oheb 1v1 with no one else alongside him?
I mean, one could argue, I got Oheb, go, 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 I got Oheb!
Yeah, he could be holding. Yeah, that's true.
But the order of things, how it happened, Flap fell first, and then there's nothing else Falcons could follow through from that. So if they're not in control, if they're out of tempo, out of position, Liquid wins.
I guess that's the cost of losing Few, his Crimson, his Flicker. He can't really help. It's like a crippled Falcon that we're seeing.
You can't fly.
This is an evolved Lord, by the way. So they will be
They're
having
going
it
in.
up until the base.
Sanford's trying to see if he can grab onto somebody. That's a dodge on the AOG, but the real world is providing a very good battlefield for tlph to fight in. And there goes Flap, and they might just not be enough. Ladies and gents, we have a game 5.